Everyone, and welcome to the League of Europe Season X here in Division 4. I'm QVR Verstappen, and we're going to take you through round 1 of Australia of LOE this season. And we're going to see how these drivers fare. 17 drivers playing up today. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with a Division 2 champion. He demanded to me to, introduce him as the most dominant, but I don't think he's quite going to achieve that.
Factually correct.
Ariel Felipe, or otherwise known as Nolan.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we would not have been in comms together.
There's no
Football
chance, indeed.
Manager has brought us together. But now, obviously, he sees me as a Division 1 employee like himself. I'm allowed to share the room with him.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. As drivers pick their tyre allocation, I'm going to see what the weather is like here for the short qualifying in Albert Park. Looks very sunny. No delays here, and yeah, we're gonna see who's gonna be the quickest out here today. Quite a few
star-studded lineup, 17 star-studded drivers. The question is, before we go through who's gonna win, how many people would you have to bet? So someone gives you, say, £1 million if you get it right, okay? How many of these 17 names do we see in the final race of the season?
You know what? Quite a few of these guys are quite reliable. Let me see. I think we'll see 14. We'll see the end of the season.
14?
Yeah. I think 14 will see the end of the season.
You've got faith. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers have been here for a long time, so I do.
I like that.
Have the faith here, and we'll hope obviously is even more. So
if it's FRL. There'd be what, about 3 drivers?
Roughly.
Just in the lobby.
Just about, yeah. Maybe. First car is on track now. Major Falcon is the first one weaving through. Seems they managed to warm up the tyres properly. Doesn't look like it right now. It's the German.
No, although I found out about that, 2 days ago? So I'm racing the top division, and I found out, no, it wasn't. It was the Silverstone race on the Tuesday. I found out how to warm up your tyres.
That's gonna be curious to see if anyone here will actually do it. I doubt it. But I think it's time to go on board with the German of Major Falcon. Returnee wasn't here in season 9, but 4 has been here, and he's opened up the throttle. Start his qualifying lap. DRS zone number 1 with 4 here, which is way too many. You'll see later on. He's braking just off the 100 meter, avoiding the curve on turn 1, taking it very nicely actually. The DRS is open once again here, maybe an overtaking opportunity in the race. Braking at the 100 meter boards. Third gear through turn 3, not too bad. 4 up into 5th even. For 4 and the flat out corner of 5 keeps it valid. We'll see what the sector split time is. 27 flat is definitely not bad at all. This looks like a pretty solid lap, honestly. He's heading through turn 8, the reprofiled section of the track. So he's done in 2021. And DRS once again is open. So heading down towards the chicane, sector 2 split. 44.7. Still pretty good. But still, quite stable for that chicane. I've honestly got to say, this is a very good lap. From Major Falcon here, as he's coming through turn 11 here. Accelerating quite nicely out of there as well. And into 12, keeping it valid. Into 13, bit cautious, but looks like he's going to finish this lap decently. He's headed for the final corner, DRS open once again. And across the line, 118.3 is not a bad lap whatsoever. I'm curious if a lot of people will come close to that. One of the Mercs coming towards the end of the line. The end of the lap, as would be Swip, a 20 flat. It's not really that close to it.
Oh, in terms of a banker, an 18.3 in Division 4 is really good. You can tell the difference, can't you, now, with how smooth the inputs is on cornering. It's making people's laps, you can't tell whether it's fast, because every lap looks quite quick now, with how fast you can throw it in. But an 18.3, 7 tenths faster than second place. Obviously, everyone's still got to do the laps, but I wonder if we see a 17 in Division 4, I think that's. I mean, I got 17.7, so if someone beats my lap, then this we've got to have words.
That would be interesting to see, to say the least. But we've seen it before that just, someone's very quick. Oh my. Well,
Okay.
we know Steban is
Oh,
a very
no.
quick driver in qualifying. 18 flat is extremely quick. I've not seen him do any race pace in a good manner this game yet, so we'll have to see if that is going to change. In the preseason race, he looked very quick in qualifying, even, could suggest D2, D3 sort of pace, and then he just, didn't make any use of it later on, so we'll have to see. James Ed is coming towards the end of his lap. First F1 race, as far as I know, for him, so let's see how he does. He's coming through, as well. This looks like a pretty solid lap as well. Just get himself among the top times. P5, just behind Koshike. In P4, Energetic gets himself into P2. So, a few drivers already sitting in some very decent times.
Yeah, we've got the Red Bulls next to each other, the Aston Martins next to each other, so maybe they picked a good teammate to have in terms of pace, but it depends whether you want to risk double stacking, of course, in the race. There's a few names as well. Oh, João Victor. Oh, it's my Brazilian!
Brazilian driver here. His mate Julie Show has been here for a couple seasons now, and this guy's got in. Looks to be on a decent lap there. P2, 18.1, definitely not too bad. Just looking around, see if there's anyone else. I've seen MCFC on the mediums, strangely enough. Carcana did a lap on the hards, obviously a legend of League of Europe. The OGs, if they're watching, will remember. And we'll see if he can fare his way back into the grid quite nicely. Get some points on the board.
Have any Alfa Romeos left yet?
I'm not too sure. I don't think they have. One of them is leaving now, so Axel's just come out of the pits. But we'll have to see if they can, do a bit better than just sit in the pits. Jav here as well, the reserve driver, has been for a while.
Oh no, I found a bug. Okay.
What would the bug be?
I've gone into the race director to check whether people left, whether they've done like an in-lap, and now it's giving me no option to leave the race director.
Oh. Well, that'd be quite the issue.
Like, it says results overall, and I'm just stuck in the race director now. I can't leave it.
Yeah, I found this at some point as well. I think if you, I don't know, I got out of it in some way, and I don't recall how. But if you really can't get out of it, you can close the game. I'll send you a new invite, and I'll get back onto it that way. As I've seen Jamie just go straight on that throne.
I'll just wait, and I think by next session it should be alright.
It's definitely possible. Looking alright. Mr. Puro, new driver to LOE. He's coming through turn 9 and 10. 44.9, a few tenths off what Major Falcon did on his run. And let's see if the Finn can actually get himself a bit higher up maybe for the last sector, although that braking didn't look too nice. I think through turn 12 now. That looked like a very decent corner actually for him. Down to 4th gear in turn 13. Let's go a bit lower. We'll have to see if he accelerates out of it. If this lap is going to be anywhere near the top, we'll be on the 118, so 118.3 is definitely not too bad. And indeed close to Major Falcon, as I said previously. I don't know, I feel like your time might be beaten this session, given that we're already on an 18 flat. I think a 77 could be beaten here.
Some things happen, okay. It was a rough time. I was drained from work, okay. And that's my defense for that one.
I've just seen Axel go off, and he's out of the session. Nice. Turn 10 has just completely collapsed him and his car. And he's going to start from the back here today.
It's not a bad place. You know what? I think if you're going to start from the back, I don't think week 1's a bad time, because people are a bit rusty. Australia is not the easiest track. On lap 1, there's not the most space, I'd say, sector 1. And as we saw up in Division 1, and I think Division 3 as well, there's likely to be accidents lap 1. I think you can capitalise being at the back quite a bit, actually, especially week 1 of the season when everyone's a bit rusty.
That's definitely a good point. He doesn't have to do anything into turn 1. I'm just watching him on board with Steban, who's slightly up on his time, and he is pushed that chicane way too much, keeps it out of the wall, but that's his lap done. But he looked to be up in Sector 1, then Sector 2 wasn't as good. So, yeah, there's some time in this for him, I think. I think he can get into 17s. It remains to be seen if he can beat the 17.7 we set as a target. I think Karkan has started another lap on the hearth.
I'm just going to see. I am basically going to watch tracks via the race director. Jamie Met looks like he's on a much improved lap.
Yep, he is towards the end of the lap. A 19.5 puts him into P11. And that gets him in.
He just gained 18 seconds that lap.
That's a very impressive improvement. So we see Go 70 UK on an 18.4. Jamie Met's usually not one of the quickest drivers, but he's definitely one that at the end of the race, you'll see him in P6 and you think, how's he ended up there? And he'll pick up the points. So,
am I seeing this right, that Karkanen's doing hard runs?
Yeah, that would be right.
He's only 6th lap of qualifying right now.
Just getting the consistency up. Maybe at the end of the session...
Impressive.
I reckon at the end of the session he'll go to a set of softs, and then he's going to bang at pole position.
If that works, he looks like a genius, and if it fails, it's not so much.
Well, he's going to have to beat the 17.7, as NRT Joe Victor has just put that in. I don't know to the exact thousand what your lap was, but
it don't matter.
There's a 7.95 that was set here, so
where's his D2 title? That's what I'm saying. That's all I've got. 17.7. I know for a fact that I did not have a 26 in the first sector. I know that, and he doesn't.
Right.
So.
We've seen United Bosnia actually come to the end of his lap. He was 3 tenths up coming through sector 2. So if he hasn't messed up, he could get himself among the top guys, as Ben Scott has retired from the session, coming through the final corner. Has he just crashed in the pits? He might have. Bosnia gets himself into P6. I'm just going to go on board with one of the Ferraris. That's Ibo. Just to see if I can find his car. It's just teleported away. Yeah, he's crashing the pits because his front wing end plate at the pit wall. So
we love that.
That is as the end of his qualifying as he sets himself into P10.
Is Jav on a lap? Jav's not got a time.
He's on an out lap. He's on the mediums right now. So maybe he's thinking of Caracan strategy, but a bit different. We'll have to see.
He went for a soft run, so I'm going to guess he invalidated that one. But he's not got any sector times on the board. This is a very weird way of checking qualifying, by the way. All I can do is scroll through the race director.
That's it's like watching Formula 1, but like you don't have any screen, and you just have to follow it from a distance, just to give a bit of perspective there. Just trying to figure out. I think everyone is kind of preparing for the final runs. You see drivers on laps. EKG MCFC. That's a nice password, Wi-Fi password. He's coming for the end of his lap, but he's kind of messed up there, I think, in the final sector, and he's decided to call it quits and go into the pits. Swift is on the lap, but he is not improving as it stands. Maybe he has some time left in the final sector, but otherwise, I reckon we'll see him go into the pits. A bit further, we're seeing Alton Hespero, but he's messed up his sector 1, so he's not going to improve right now. Kevin Cal, however, is on an improvement, and is 3 tenths up with a supposed purple sector 1. So let's see what the American can do as he opens up the DRS down towards turn 9. And see if he's got more improvement into the second sector. 3.5 tenths this time. This could be a very good lap if he can get some time out of the final sector. DRS open once again for the Red Bull. He's heading down towards turn 11. braking very late, which you need to do there. It looks to have done that quite nicely. Heading for turn 12, and again looking very tidy. He heads into turn 13. As far as I know, he's on a full traction control assist level. We'll have to see, because this lap is a pretty solid one, an 18 flat, himself 8,000 ahead of Esteban.
Wait, he got an 18 flat on full traction control?
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Has to be said.
I'd say look out for his starts. He might get, especially in Division 4, he might get a really good start compared to a lot of people on the grid.
There's a very good chance of that.
In a rain race, he's going to be really good off the line.
Yeah, I haven't got any words on the weather for the race. I'll check the Discord, but it doesn't look like there is any.
I'm trying to check. Is Steeman out? Or is he...
He's on the out lap currently.
Okay, I've only got one lap time down for him. His opening banker is on an 18.8 for me.
That's very interesting. I hope this gets resolved for the race, otherwise you're in for a tough one.
I'll watch it in the race director, will be fine. Tell you what, if this doesn't work, share screen. I can just commentate with share screen.
That's actually a good point. If I can broadcast and share screen at the same time, that is obviously...
Yeah, I thought you should be able to share screen. I just feel like you should be able to watch. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll figure it out as we go. Seeing James has come for a lap. 88 currently, kind of in the middle of nowhere if you look at the times around him. Guys ahead are like half a second ahead, and then he's got half a second to Ben Scholes and 7 tenths to Jamie Metton behind. He's not currently up on his time, but maybe has some time in the final sector. So he heads for turn number 10 there. DRS open once again. Again, another good overtaking opportunity here into turn 11. You have to be wary. So Jaff has retired from the session, and I think that was in the pits actually. So he's done his practice on the mediums. He got a 20.4 out of it. So he's going to start P14 at best. Let's see James though. He's got right ahead of his lap, and he just had a bit of a snap there. Hits the wall and loses his wing as it flies off.
I actually did get to see that in the background, so that's nice. As Karkkonen is on his 10th lap of qualifying on the hard set of tyres, and he put in a personal best on the 9th lap of a 23.8.
Great city improvement here. This reminds me, back in Season 3, I think we had Jarry in Division 1, who just kept doing laps on the hardest compounds in qualifying at any time. And he has actually some okay race paces. Joe Victor has retired from the session on track. That's not what we want to see. He might have to worry about the qualifying ban next week. We'll have to see about that. Looking through, Swip is just starting his lap. I think we're near the end of the session, as the yellow flags need to go away for me to see that. 30 seconds left.
Something to look out for. Axel KRS. Not incredible, but I'm looking at his sector times before he DNF'd. He's not far off the pace of the front of the group on qualifying, and that would have been his banker. So I expect him to be fast in the race. Obviously, he DNF'd before he finished the lap, but I'm looking at these first two sectors. They were quite competitive with what are still the front running laps right now. Another
crash as Energetics has lost it for turn 10. And Goshu K has retired in the pits. His flag is out. So let's see if anyone can still improve. And I don't think Steven already did his lap, so the top 3 are not going to improve. I think it has to come for the Aston Martins here to challenge for a really good time. Just looking around, so Mr. Burrow has not made the flag. Boston has invalidated, so not that Aston Martin. Swift is invalidated. Jamie Metz looks to be, I can't see a sector split, but he's still in the lap. And in behind we have Major Falcon also invalidated. So unless Jamie Metz is gonna pull someone out of the bag here, I think Joe Victor might be taking a full position. Let's hear it.
Well, Jamie Metz has a 0.2 in the first sector, a 27.2.
Ooh, he's got a bit deep. Yeah, that's not going to be it, I think. Just went on the grass. Let's see if he still improves, but if he comes across the line, no, I don't think he's going to improve. That's unfortunate. If he was actually in a good lap,
that's very unfortunate. Lap. It wouldn't have been incredible. He would have definitely probably got. It'd have been in the low 18s. I'd say probably an 18.3 or 4 he could have got there.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate. He's going to start from P11, which is 10 positions behind Joe Victor in first place, taking pole position over Kevin Cow in P2, and then Steban, who set that lap at the very start of the session in P3, Energetics P4, making an all Dutch front row, second row, I should say. Well, we have an all Americas first row, so that's an interesting combination right there. So
Well,
just
what you
loading.
said is the Americas versus the Netherlands is a scary war that I want to see.
That would be very scary. I can't lie.
We almost got that in the World Cup, actually, no? It was
Yeah,
very close to happening.
yeah. Wasn't too far away. We beat them quite convincingly, but
Yeah.
I mean, Argentina did their best. So just bring it down for the rest of the grids. Major Falcon P5 with Ultimate Mr. Puro P6, right behind the Finnish with the Swedish guy of United Bosnia and Goshi K in P8. James Head and Ben Scott make for an all British fifth row. There's Jamie Met and Swip P11 and 12, an all medium 7th row of MCFC and Jav in P13 and 14. An all OG 8th row, Ibo and Carcannon next to each other, and an Axel starting from the back here. So yeah, quite a lot of interesting pairings here.
Can confirm as well, race director bug is fixed.
That's amazing.
Maybe a good idea to put in the comms chat, don't go checking race director, just in case.
That might be the good thing. Just to anyone still watching of the drivers, there's no formation left, so we should get on the way quite quickly here.
We're seeing someone not know that. That's
someone.
We're seeing someone. We're going to see someone do their best Miami impression of me. Me impression of Miami. Sorry, of just roll the car into turn 1, be very confused why everyone's flying past you, and the car behind you gets absolutely destroyed.
We'll have to see if that happens. It has been mentioned a numerous amount of times, so I would blame them for not reading properly, if that's the case. That's just lining in. It looks all dry for now. I don't know if we're going to get any rain later on, but I would be very surprised to see that. Any predictions for a win?
I'm going to go with my Brazilian... Is that boring now?
Well, we're going to get 5 red lights on.
I'm going for the Brazilian blood.
Lights out and away we go. It looks like Joe Victor has got a good start. And he looks to be away in P1. Just trying to get all this sorted. He just about keeps the position of Kevin Cal. Steven just in behind as well. As Major Falcon is making his way through. He's got up into P3. And looking further back, I think it's got all fairly cleanly. A bit of side-by-side action between Energetics and Mr. Puro. Bosnia not too far off either. I don't see any major spins or damage, which is very good from these guys.
Definitely, but I'm going to look from 3rd to 5th. We have mediums, then hards, then soft. So this could get quite interesting. Energetics got off to that flyer on the soft tyre, so soft versus hard right now as he is.
All over the back of Seban.
Not happy about not getting past there. And
looking behind. Ben Scott moving his way through on Bosnia, side by side for the chicane. Bosnia into the gravel, and he's going to lose multiple positions there as he slots in behind James Head to see more side by side action up the road. No. Swip side by side with James Head. Not
Energetic,
quite.
And Steven inside on the softs.
We've seen. Oh my. Energetic, I don't know where he made that move exactly stick. But, and as you said, your Axel prediction has not come through. This is kind of sort of what happens with Axel. Looks pretty quick as Mr. Puro is moving through on Steven as well. That's hard, not quite up to, completely racing level. Yes, Jamie Metz also moving through on Bosnia on the softs compared to the hards. And the hards just not being on point right now, as Bosnia goes very wide there. At the front, we've seen the top 2 trying to pull away from Major Falcon here. Let's see if they can actually do that.
Yeah, it's a very strange mixture of strategies. We didn't really see this in the previous race. We got front 3 of mediums. Then we got a soft runner hunting them down Energetics, who is currently all over the back of Major Falcon. Then it just starts to get a little bit crazy. Everyone's on different strategies, which makes it good for us, but also very hard to predict where anyone's going to be.
Yeah, it usually takes a little bit of a while, a couple laps, and then we'll get some sort of idea of what's going to happen. These three are very close together. Mr. Pro gets on the grass there next to Energetics. And is he going to be able to outbrake the Dutchman coming down into turn 11? Doesn't quite have the momentum to make that move stick, but good attempt nonetheless. So the top two are trying to move away from the rest of the field. 1.4 seconds between Kevin Cal and Major Falcon right now. Looking in behind, Ben Scott is looking on some pretty decent pace on the softs as he's caught up to this little train. 21.4 is the fastest lap right now. And we'll see if he's going to be able to maintain the lead, Joe Victor, as Kevin Cal is 4 tenths behind. He still looks pretty matched right now.
Yeah, something I'm noticing actually from these front three, not risking it at all on the chicane, not like completely avoiding both parts of the chicane, whereas Energetics is full on sending both wheels over, as you can do. So he's getting a crazy run going into the double right. With the DRS run as well, I can see him making a few moves there if people don't start taking the gamble.
Well, I have to say that might be risk, but also could pin out differently. Yeah, Kevin Cal just moving through on a DRS pass. They're using a lot of ERS to do it though. Which brings him up into P1. We've seen Ben Scott move through on Steban for the chicane. So he gets through. Energetics and Major Falcon looks very close there. Just a bet.
Dear me, that we're going to see a death there. Joe Victor, by the way, tried going over the curb. Don't think he'll try it again. Did the good old F123 wobble, but kept hold of the car.
Meanwhile, wobble with Swip on the exit of turn 11 as he gets overtaken by James. There's a wobble ahead. We're gonna keep that going at this rate. Kevin Cal with that DRS overtake, taking the fastest lap, 20.6, quite an improvement there. And this group of three just in behind. I see Major Falcon, Energetics, and Mr. Puro. Mr. Puro is looking on the back of Energetics, really desperate to try and make a move, but he thinks better of it, just backing out of that one for now. But I think down towards the chicane, at least that DRS zone before, we'll see some overtakes around here because it is looking way too close to not happen. And up ahead as well, between the Ripple and the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, and every lap that goes by early on is very important for Falcon because obviously those softs are going to die a lot quicker than the mediums. He's going to go for the move on the outside. This could... Is it a little bit too late? No, it's going to be quite simple in the end. But he kind of... Energetics needs to pull this gap with the softs because they are going to die quite quickly as they both go squirmish onto the curb. And the medium's got a much better run. Falcon, will he think better? This probably will.
Yeah.
Wait for the DRS, but... Yeah, you gotta. If you pick the softs at the start, you've really got to make the most of it because the downside is you just get swallowed before the pit window.
Oh, Mr. Puro is looking over the back of Major Falcon as well, looking to try and get a move on. Energetics looks like he's picked up the pace right away. Just moving for the final sector. The softs will be very good in that sector as well. So let's see if he can get anywhere near the Ripple and AlphaTauri of Kevin Cal and Joe Victor as he just extends turn one just a slight bit there. Might have been a warning. Sure. As we've seen Mr. Puro, the back of Major Falcon. I'm not too sure what happened, what caused that reaction, but let's hear it.
Energetics genuinely was 95 degrees to the left and saved it. I don't know how, but he didn't lose. He did that thing that you see on all the YouTube videos. He drifted and he gained so much time through the corner.
I might have to take note of that myself, I might. Mr. Puro going for a move outside of turn 9. He's going to have that one complete. Major Falcon kind of backed out of that one, think the better of it. And he just doesn't look to have the pace of the if peers around him right now. Bosnia and Swip have been scrapping for a little bit. I think Bosnia has gone back ahead this time. And Swip made the move into turn 3. So, yeah, a few little groups are forming already. But the gap aren't that big, considering only lap 5. Stevan just going on the grass there and locking his tyres up a little bit for as much as ABS allows that. And
wow,
we'll see an Energetics. Ooh. Mr. Puro and Energetics and Falcon. Falcon, where's he come from?
What? What's his straight line speed as the Ferrari goes onto the grass? I think he just broke late. Energetics now has got... This is going to be an absolute just exchange of positions, I feel like. This is what we're talking about with the changing tyres. At constant different times, everyone's going to start to have a faster car, so the pit window's going to be really interesting here as the Ferrari's just pushing energetics around the track now.
Seen JMet and MCFC both making pit stops. I'm not too sure what tires they were on, but that might have been some sort of damage. I did see an incident towards the back of the grid as Mr. Burrow is trying to make a move on energetics, whose softs look to be dying at this point. But that might change, as we said before. Ben Scott and Steban side by side as well. Let's hope this ends up in the right way. Steban later on the brakes makes that one stick, but on the exit he might be under pressure here from the Brits. Ben Scott trying to make a move through then into towards turn 11. Look for it, a bit of a dive. Goes very late on the brakes. Still side by side. And I think that's a bit too much. That is a... Yeah, that sends Steven into a wall and loses his front wing completely. And both of them are going to go into the pit. I think they both have damage, or at least Steven definitely does have. I don't know if Ben Scott has. But given they went to the pit out abruptly, I think so.
Ben, he messed it up twice. He thought, I'll try again. He messed it up the second time. He's not got damaged.
He's not got damage, so that might be his strategy. Is he going on to a two-stop? Surely that's the thing.
That's crazy. Because unless I don't see weak. Unless he's got weak, like there's no very small damage, and the game doesn't auto do it.
Yeah, that's the possibility.
If not, he's just murdered Steven knowing he was pitting anyway.
Aye. That's very unfortunate to see. A few penalties being picked up at the back. I know there's a few places where you can get double or even triple or even quintuple warnings. Yeah, I think he got 10 warnings in one corner. So if anyone's listening, as Mr. Pro, gone very wide there. The angle that he came from looked like he was driving out of the wall. As James said, it's moving through on Goshi K here as well. Just slowly making his way up. This heart's finally starting to work a little bit. But yeah, Mr. Burrow is fully on the gravel there, and that can't have helped him too much. I'm curious what these guys are going to do with strategy though.
It's kind of helped us out a bit in just chilling things out. It's created a bit of a gap. Things have relaxed a bit. It was hard to know where to look. As Steven now makes an overtake up for 15th place, so he's going to try to recover what he can from the race. He'll be looking at the penalties ahead of him and probably thinking, I can still get a good amount of points.
That's Ibo is just going a bit wide there as he gets into the pits. Oh no, he's just... I don't know exactly what Ibo was doing there, but I think that's the usual thing.
Ibo tries his best to get out of people's way, and in doing that has blocked Steven heavily.
Oh well, it's been a move for the lead here actually, and Kevin Cal is derating himself, and Joe Victor's kind of thinking, yeah, you go ahead mate. And he'll be very frustrated seeing a red light, I reckon. I wonder how good the connection between them two themselves is, because for me it's a bit laggy between the two.
Yeah, the connection of the lobby doesn't seem the best, but
I think it's to do with them being from Brazil and the US. I reckon that has some sort of play into it. But that can happen because all the European people kind of seem in the better way. As James has accidentally got his nose at the inside of Ghost against turn 12. Ben Scott moving through and Jav there. Jav getting kind of a little tap. I think he just outbroke himself a little bit too much and ended up sideways, losing a bit of time. He's just going to drive around hopefully to get a safety car and hopefully some points for him. But doesn't look too great at the moment. See Steven on the back of Karkan and Axon, and once again a lot of holding up as he gets alongside the Mercedes quite easily, I think. And so Joe Victor has actually dropped a second, just to go back to that in a bit as well. Steven making that move complete. And yeah, Karkanen just going to get passed by Jamie Met here as well. Karkanen just dropping down a little bit further. He's in P15 right now, so needs a lot to get to the point. Jav getting a penalty, and it...
Jav.
Jav. Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, yeah, I think he's got wing damage.
Oh, I was going to say, it doesn't look like he had much from wing damage, but... Yeah, if there's the rear issue.
Okay.
Ooh, Mr. Puro, Major Falcon, sorry to interrupt you there, but They got very close together, and I think Major Falcon tried to hang there, but got stuck on the curb on the inside, and has to concede that position for now. A lot of battling going on. A lot of things going on, because, yeah, Jav does look like he has some sort of rear wing damage, potentially.
Yeah, and I wonder if Jao Victor... I don't know how much these people play the game. I'm assuming they know like what the red flashing light means, because he's almost fallen out of DRS, and you'd think if you know he's derating, you'd use the 50% you've got, stay in DRS, but I'm just curious whether he's actually kind of latched on to the fact that the guy in front of him is running off fumes.
Oh, more penalties for Mr. Puro. He's gone wide somewhere. He's on 6 seconds right now, so that's going to drop him back quite a bit. Bosnia's pitted as he has wing damage there, and he's gone on to mediums. Could make it to the end, but very difficult to do so. So we'll have to see. Yeah, Joe Victor's now back in, and now he's using the ERS, so don't know what his game plan is. Kevin Cowell's ERS saving doesn't seem to be there. This doesn't exist.
I will say a cheeky update for D2 real quick. Portuguese Beast DNF'd from first.
Oh, that's quite spicy. We got NSX Montana and Funky Chicken on that, so if you want to tune in that from away from this spicy action that you don't really know what's going to happen, be my guest, but I think this one is more entertaining as of right now. And the gap between the top two and Energetics is not expanded that much, given Energetics tires are 10 laps old. So I'm wondering if he can do soft medium, as James says is moving through on Goshi K into turn 1, looked very close. Could Energetics do soft medium and maybe regain a little bit on the top 2 at any point? I don't know what the top 2 are going to do in terms of strategy, which could be medium hard and medium soft. But there's a very interesting thing developing there. Doesn't help that he picks up a penalty though. So
no, Sharvich is going to go. He's listening to. Oh my. Okay, never mind.
You might be listening to the stream. Yeah, that's just his connection, kind of jumping about. I hope it's not too bad on track. But that doesn't look amazing. Goshike looking to get back James Head once again, but backs off of this one. He thinks it's better not to just right now. I think James' chicane looks a bit tidier than Goshike's. And he's just gonna stick ahead for now. Even though the Brit is looking for a gap, but it isn't quite there. So Major Falcon just cut on board there, and he spins around Mr. Puro just too late on the brakes. And yeah, Mr. Puro rounds, and that's going to ruin his tyres a little bit, unfortunately, and lost him quite a bit of time.
Nah, just getting some heat into the tyres, alright, that, he knows how hard it is to get heat into the tyres these days. There's James Head now, just playing it safe, finds himself currently in P5. I know there's been pits, but he's kind of just stayed out of trouble.
Energetics, he's just pitted to the mediums, and he's come out right behind Swift and Ben Scott here. Swift just trying his best to avoid the McLaren here. I think Energetics should get a move on here, because being stuck behind there is not going to be very fun for him, as you see right now. But that's going to lose him a bit of time. But this strategy could work out for him well if he can make those mediums last quite a lot of time. James are getting a pen as well, so everyone is trying to equalize among themselves.
Yeah, Energetics is losing so much time. This is such a hard sector. Kind of maybe what I should have done to Montana, but Yusuf's got it in the end. But they're side by side, up the inside. I'll assume this will just be Switch going to let him go, and Energetics now going to get that charge on. We know the undercut is massive on this game, and due to everyone's strategies, he has undercut quite a few people.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious what Joe Victor and Kevin Cow are going to do, because if they're going to medium soft, it's going to be quite a task, even in any scenario, to bring softs, 11-ish laps. Energetics did it quite well. To see Goshi K going into this, because that's the ultimate strategy, what Goshi K is doing right now. Medium hard, which should be a pit lap right about right now. Which could still see Energetics in an advantageous position, but I don't know how much that will last towards the end of the race. So as Joe Victor gets a time penalty, and that's going to hold him back a bit, as Kevin Callis, I think, is trying to get back through once again.
Dear me. Yeah, the issue is with the medium soft, I personally think, you can't do anything against the undercut. Like, you can't react to Energetic's undercutting because you have to go long enough for the softs to last. So the only thing you can do is early on decide you're going to do medium hard, which even then, your hards are going to be slower than the medium who has just undercut you. So it's unless you've got like really good pace, I don't think the medium soft is the way to go.
Well, let's see if either of them decides to go into the pits. It looks like Kevin Cal does. Joe Victor is staying out here. So Kevin Cal, I reckon, I hope so, this will be a medium hard, because otherwise he's missed his one-up. As the pit crew is running out remarkably fast to get that hard set on. Major Falcon is also doing the same thing, going medium hard. And I think Mr. Pro is continuing on for the time being. James Head's as well, obviously, on being on the hards, so he's not going to pit. Energetics is right behind Ben Scott. I think this is a time where the McLaren is trying to move through. Let's see how far. He was about 6 seconds behind Kevin Cal when he pitted, I think, before he pitted. It's about the same. I think the hold-up has not helped him whatsoever. But he's on a better tyre now, as Javis retired from the session, and that is brought out a safety car.
Oh no.
And that is completely made the medium soft redundant, because that's not going to happen.
Kevin.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
He can't be happy at this point. That's very unfortunate for the American.
Very unfortunate for Major Falcon as well. Who,
yeah.
You'd assume this is really good for Energetics.
Yeah, I think to an extent it will help him. Brings him closer together, and obviously he's going to be on a better tyre, at least at the start, maybe towards the end, not so much.
Well, the weird thing is with the medium, isn't it, where you'll know, so he's going to have this weird spot where the mediums die, and obviously because he's going to be like 2-3 laps ahead of them, theirs will die 3 laps later, but then you get, it's really strange how it works. You drop back, and then you gain on everyone again because you get that second wind before everyone else does as well. So the medium tyres have this weird thing of like they'll be really slow and then they'll just gain a lot of time out of nowhere again.
That's very true. On the other hand, it's not completely ruined for Kevin Cal, because, you know, he's still in second place on track. He's going to be right with the Brazilian. He has no penalties. So he's still in a pretty good position. But just not getting the undercut he wanted must be frustrating at that point. It also brings the light of Steban, who had this earlier incident with Ben Scott, who's he's now going to be right behind. That'll be surely very interesting.
I think
so
the issue that Kevin Cal has is I think Joe Victor looks the faster of the two, but he's got the penalty. So it's not like he can overtake him and just pull away. He kind of has to sit behind him.
Yeah, that might invite some pressure from, you know, someone like Energetics on the mediums just in behind, who could, you know, very easily attack on those tires. So as Bosnia has managed to get a penalty, where has he got that? That's what I'm wondering.
That's a strange. Yeah.
On the safety car is one thing, but doing it on the exit of turn 3, that's the only thing I can imagine, or maybe Apex. I don't know.
It could have been a cheeky Discord check. That happened to me a few times. Check this. Actually, earlier on today, my phone popped up. I looked at it for a second, and then everyone slowed down on the safety car. I was about 3 inches away from DNF by smacking into the back of Rocco.
Well, let's hope it isn't for him, but you know, it doesn't help him in the slightest.
I'm looking actually at this Kevin situation. Everyone around with penalties, the only person he has to truly worry about is Falcon, who has a medium runner right behind him, and then 2 more who you'd assume are going to go past Ghost. So
yeah, that's the point, isn't it?
If Falcon gets swallowed, Kevin can kind of just sit in the train and win off penalties if he wants to.
That's the thing, if he can. But I think you also have to consider the fact that Energetics is on mediums. Let's say these two, you know, Energetics has passed them too, eventually. And Kevin Cal and Joe Victor start fighting. Then that opens a gap up for energetics. I mean, Kevin Cal
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
need to engage in the fighting, but you know,
but
there's
he's
still
on
a
the
risk.
oldest
Obviously, you need
mediums
to
of
watch out
everyone.
for. Yeah, he's older. He's got mediums older. Brings maybe someone like James that's into it as well, who's in 6 plays on the mediums. Only 3 seconds of penalties.
So
Yes.
what we're saying is everyone could get a podium still at this point, and what we're
Yeah,
actually saying is not helpful at all.
exactly. You need to keep it
I'd say
exciting.
the way this situation is right now, honestly, anyone from, I dare say, Swip could get a podium.
I think even Jamie Met. Jamie Met is someone that grabs podiums out of nowhere. I've said this before. He can randomly just end up there, and he's on a good set of tires currently. That should last him easily to the end.
So we have an 11-man shootout for the podium.
Quite exactly
is
that.
essentially what we're going for.
You'll see
That
one
should
of
be
the someone that's not in the top 11 is now going to get a podium.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Bosnia, isn't it?
Yeah, good chance. As he's
It's
slowing
funny,
down the
Bosnia
pack.
actually used to be really fast.
I think he's very fast on his day. His quality pace is very good at times, but yeah, might need to improve on the race a little bit to really be in the shows for the title. So safety car will be in this lap actually. I think he tried to hold it up and make sure it didn't go this lap, but it ended up going. So we'll have to see if Joe Victor will be leading the grid very slowly. You may have to make sure you're not slamming into people, as there seems some side-by-side things going on behind. Yeah, that's a very, very slow restart for now. Let's see, where is he going to go? Because he's just gone out of the final corner. It was a very late call for the safety car, but I think he's not even nailed that completely. Kevin Cal's within 3/10, trying to break the slipstream, but Kevin doesn't care and just going to sit in behind. And that's going to be it for that. Jamie Met is trying to get through on Swip and has managed that. Up ahead we see James that's going by on Major Falcon, and up ahead of that, Mustapuro and Energetics are side by side.
And this is doing exactly what we were talking about. Kevin can use this. He's just kind of he's got to stick with Victor. His main goal, I think, for now. And then, just, from really, if Energetics goes past, he has to go past with him, is essentially the rule for Kevin.
Yeah, but at this rate, if Energetics is going to pass by people, it's not even going to matter. Ben Scott's moving through with Major Falcon. He can do something. After his little accident early on. Axel and Swift close together. Jamie Met has dropped back down again. I didn't see what happens, but he's now back into P13. So we see Bosnia going very wide there. The exit of turn 10. I see more side by side up ahead. Axel trying to get this one done on Swip. He does do that quite nicely. Swip trying to move back side by side. Seen Energetics and Mr. Puro. Mr. Puro must have been hit at some point. I'm not too sure what happened. More yellow flags in behind, which is, I think Swip has gone round and moving to all the wrong places at the wrong time. But Swip and Axel were side by side, and they must have got it collected together.
So what happened there really is Mr. Puro went into the gravel, lost a few positions, rejoined the track a bit rashly, which caused James' head to have to swerve. He went really deep, and then it just was like this train effect of everyone slowing down. I'm not sure how he ended up in the gravel, but that's how it kind of started, and it's allowed these front two to really seize an opportunity now.
Yeah, they can get away right now. 1.1 seconds is the gap. I think Kevin Cal has kind of realized that. I think he's driving this race quite smartly here. With Energetics just trying to get back and trying to still make use of those mediums, because he's going to hit the drop-off point very soon. And that is just going to be playing the dance of the American here.
I think the story of this race so far with Kevin Cal has been he's had the most DRS between him and Energetics. So he just needs to, I mean, honestly, Energetics is already going to get back in. The mediums are still going to be faster for now. But he's kind of just got a little bit of control of just staying Joe Victor's DRS. There's not much Energetics can do.
Yeah, that's a good point. DRS will be enabled now, so that will actually apply now. T-Ban trying to move through a Major Falcon, who has much more straight line speed. Jav left the session, obviously having retired earlier. J-Met's moving for an MCFC who is on the soft, the only soft runner right now. Don't know what his plan is, but you know what, we'll respect it. 3 seconds I've been for Ibo, which is not going to really affect anything. And at this point, there's a bit of a gap between James Head and Ben Scott now as well. Little gaps start to fall here and there. Mr. Burr, I think, had a bit of a mistake at turn 6, which might just drop him out of DRS, which might allow James Head to move through. He has got the DRS, and I think that's not even going to be a contest here. Yep, the Brit just going around the outside, no contest, smacks the wall. My end, anyway. So, hopefully, didn't get damage from that. But he's now at the P4, and he got pressure tires down in Jetix. And he could maybe move through and trying to get himself into the podium paying position. Because the gap to Major Falcon, who's the only one without a pen that's anywhere near a competitive position, is nearly 3 seconds.
Ooh.
You see, Energetic go very deep there.
And that has allowed James Head to secure himself in the DRS spot, and he's dropped out of basically any chance of DRS with his front two. Victor really not allowing Kevin to get any slipstream, goes all the way to the right. James Head in a really strong position. Though 3 laps is going to go for the move here, I'd assume he is up the inside. Yep. Has a lot of time to pull that one off. And Jetix tries his best, but just a losing battle there really. And actually trying to fight that kind of pointlessly has actually cost him a lot of time. And it's given James Head a good chance. But doesn't have the DRS advantage, so Energetic plays that a little bit shaky.
Yeah, Mr. Purr is trying to take advantage of that. I think Energetic is trying to fend as Kevin Cal moves up into the lead. Trying to use some of the ERS, don't know why, but it extends the gap a little bit. These 3 are getting very close together, and the 3 in mind as well. Steban and Major Falcon side by side. And that's a beautiful move from Steban, even though I don't think Major Falcon tried his absolute best. That's a great move, and he's going to get 2 indeed. Around the outside of Ben Scott. So that has ended last time.
Not again, Ben, not again.
He's trying
Ben,
it. This time he's gone too deep.
Gardema.
As Fernando Alonso would say, that it's a little bit of karma. I think he tried too much there, and it's costed him more than he's gained from it, as he's down at P13 now. Kevin Cal sent the fastest lap of the race to 20.5, and he looks in control of this right now. But you know, one mistake, one extra penalty. I don't know what one exists, and don't check because you'll get stuck on the race director again.
I'm not looking at anything. I will say though, one mistake, the reason it could cost Kevin, Victor has the ERS to burn for a full lap if he needs to. Like if he gets 1 second ahead.
Yeah, and Kevin Cal's D-racing. He's not going to have any ERS to play with. I don't think that's the smartest way of racing that. As Mr. Purr gets his 3rd pen, he's going to drop far down the grid. We've seen Axel actually retire coming through turn 5, and that's another safety car. And up ahead,
Victor was about 2 thousandths off being in 1st, and then the safety car came out. He was going for the move. ERS was on. DRS was on. He was within 2 thousandths. It was like a hairline of being 1st, and the safety car saved Kevin.
Moving very far away from your mic, as it sounds like. But
my mic's dying. That'll be why. That's nice.
Right. It's just about right now. Don't know if we'll keep it like that, but we'll hope for it. Who pits? That's my question.
Is that okay? Can you hear electric, or is that okay?
That's all good. That's all good.
Okay. Charges in.
As we're seeing Joe Victor come into the pits. Kevin Cal stayed out. James had stayed out. Energetic in, Mr. Purr and Steban in. Falcon has stayed out without any pens. Bosnia stayed out.
Tactics. Oh no!
Oh. Do you reckon?
Oh, the Red Bulls.
And the Astons. They're both together there. Energetics has gone on a fresh set of mediums, interestingly enough. Ben Scott is now back at P5. He could cause some carnage. Ibo stayed
James.
out.
What does James do?
Ibo's going to try and get as many positions as he can.
He will. He'll move out of the way.
Just funny to see at that point, you know. But yeah, this is...
I don't know why has Victor... I mean, he's on the softs, but he's got a penalty as well.
I think it's a gamble, but given he's only got 3 seconds and, you know, basically the entire field does have it, those softs are going to be so much better than 8 lap old parts or mediums.
That is true. He just needs... The only issue he's got... James Head plays the most important role in this, because he's got to decide if he wants to win and go for it, bearing in mind his penalty, because he's the only thing that stops Falcon from going right after Kevin right now. But this, like, we could get a Kevin v Falcon, no penalties, just pure pace, fight for the win, or we could get a boring penalty win across the line. So
there's a good chance.
James, what's better for the league, sir? What's better for the league?
We'll have to see how he's going to play this. Still have 15 drivers in competition. I'm quite...
What I will say,
surprised.
How many Division 1 commentaries have you heard James say that he hates the team game and that you should go for it? How many times... If he doesn't do that now, he is a liar, he is an actress.
I wonder if Kevin Call's hearing this and he's thinking, no, he needs to play the team game.
Listen, Kevin, if you're listening, James has stated passionately how he hates the team game on F1 League racing.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he if he's gonna adhere to his own morals and all that. So James is staying very close to Kevin Call. No one overtake him right in the safety car just yet. Let's keep it that way.
Nah, he's in the Red Bull. He's doing the Red Bull safety car tactics. Sit alongside them.
Potentially. That's not allowed for anyone just wondering. Don't sit alongside. Swipe has come back into the bits. Bring Tim and Jamie Metz back into it. Fresh shots. They could get some points, especially with the penalties ahead. We're gonna have like 6 laps of racing, I think. I'll go to end this lap if Swipe catches. I think that...
Wait.
Joe Victor should be able to get through. Imagine, but I think even energetics on those mediums, over 6 laps, I think softs and mediums will be fairly equal.
Am I being too judgmental because it's only race 1? But Ben Scott being in 5th on 6 seconds after what we've seen from him this race, I'm only going off this race, could that be a bit of a worry for the faster drivers like Joe Victor and Energetics, who will probably back themselves to hunt down the front for you quite quickly?
He could very well be an issue. We've seen a few dodgy moments as well this race already, in turn 11 particularly, and turn 12 as well. Safety car will be in this lap.
Turn 13 and turn 1.
Yeah.
And
You can keep going on like that. It's no shade. Just stating our observations.
It's me in my first Division 4 season. Well, he caused an incident turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4.
Oh, Esteban has got a penalty for colliding with Mr. Puro. That's not ideal, as Kevin Call's leading the safety car restart. Is he going to take the same approach as Joe Victor? Yes, he is. Taking it slow and then very quick. And he's called out James Head quite a bit of guard. 3-second time penalty for MCFC. Don't know how he's done that. But on the way we go, and we're going to see some moves maybe in the midfield, as those guys on the faster tires are the ones to look out for, especially. So we get some engine almost right there. So Ebo's moving back for the field. We're seeing Joe Victor around the outside of Ben Scott. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? I think so. I think he's got that.
Oh,
look at
the grip.
Contact, but he's got so much more grip. And it's going to allow Mr. Puro, who's gone for an energetics. He's going to go for Ben Scott here. No. Surely not. That's a very cautious approach, and that's going to allow energetics to move through 3 wide, through the middle. Absolutely amazing scenes. And he's got that one through. Esteban is on the back of this as well. This is absolutely batshit crazy. Joe Victor moving through on Bosnia. I don't know what the hell is going on at this point, but Esteban moving through on energetics. Someone in the gravel. That's Ben Scott. He's moving down to P11. And all of this has allowed the top 3 to just kind of move through.
And Joe Victor's on a charge.
He is on the charge. And he is on the back of Major Falcon already, down the inside of turn 13. Good move. Great move. And he's going to continue his charge. He's already up to P3. As Major Falcon has a big slide there.
He could do this. He needs... Because DRS is going to get activated next lap.
Yeah.
So, if he... There's a chance, with how fast these softs are, he's got what, nearly 2 full laps now? Well, a lap and a half probably.
Yeah,
To
I
pull
think
a
he's
second
definitely
out
on
of
for a
first.
podium.
Oh, podium, 100%.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get any more penalties. As we see Energetics and Mr. Purr once again battling it out. Energetics getting the better of the Finn this time out. As we see Joe Victor right on the back of James had already just in a bit of the cross too much, I think, which ruined his run, but the amount of ERS he got and the amount of slipstream, I don't think it's going to matter. The AlphaTauri goes alongside, doesn't even use too much ERS, and I don't think James really cares.
Joe can win
like,
this.
Yeah, Joe Victor is definitely making Kevin Cal's race a bit tougher as it seemed. As we see more side-by-side, well, very close racing in mind in P4, P5. That's Esteban's got lunging and move down the inside. Bit too deep, and that's going to allow Bosnia and Energetics to move through, and Mr. Purr potentially Energetics move to contact. As Go Chicane now is up the inside of the Finn. More weird movement here. Seen both the Alpines fending off the Ferrari. And they're going to go side by side down towards turn 1. Joe Victor's only 6/10 of Kevin Cal. Keep an eye on that as we see the Alpines trying to slipstream, help each other.
Oh, it's worked! That's crazy!
And it has worked. And Mr. Purr is down to P9. And with those penalties, it's going to be tough for him to get points. Looking towards the front of the grid once again. Swift getting a penalty. Which
Kevin's out of ERS already!
Yes, he is. He's just burned his battery. As Ben Scott is now retired in the pits.
It's too late. I was going to say it's too late for a safety car, I think.
It could have happened. It could have happened. But we're seeing Joe Victor, and he's going to do his decisive move this time. And then it's just a case of, getting that 3-second gap. And not getting any more penalties.
And he's got the ERS, and Kevin should have just saved it. And then when he's in this situation, just stay in the ERS territory.
Look how much he's losing already for that tyre grip. Energetics moving through in Bosnia in the meantime. They're side by side nearly for that chicane. That's absolutely mental. Go Chicane trying to move through. He is not quite able to this time out. As they're just following a train. Steban's rear end looks very loose. I've seen him slide all over the place. Move towards the front of the field again. 1.5 seconds already. And it's going to extend itself. I don't think Kevin even stands a chance as long as he, as long as Joe Victor doesn't get any penalties more.
Well, that's the thing. We talk about the softs dying, the hards will be just as dead by that point.
Yeah, good point. They're 13 laps old. Obviously, a few safety car laps, but not enough that's going to help the pace to get through. And I think the Brazilian is looking on for a debut race victory here. And that will be an ideal scenario.
Yeah, it's what a really good, because he had to overtake I think 5 people to get to the front there, so it wasn't exactly plain sailing. He avoided all that carnage, and the carnage there was a lot of. And I tell you what, Falcon on the back of James' head.
He's on for a podium as well.
Yeah, currently he's in the podium spots. I'm wondering whether. Is he on for Kevin? It depends on the ERS.
I think it's a bit far. I think 2 laps, and
Kevin's struggling.
He is struggling a lot. I've not noticed this. Go Chicane, Steban, and Ultimate are all fighting it out here. As the Ferrari goes deep and into the grass, and that's gonna revert him back down to P9. I'm sorry for the noise there. I don't know how that's.
James got into the wall.
Oh, I saw some more wing flying off. I don't know if that was just from James' head or that was Energetics. It was working with the McLaren. But that might be James' head looking at it just at his end plate, and that's another penalty for Energetics, which is going to drop him down. I have no clue how this race is going to be. You can have a quick look here with the penalties.
Falcon can get it.
Falcon can definitely get it. He's still on for that P2. Is he going to be able to close 1.2 seconds?
He just drifted through the whole of Sector 1.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult. It's not impossible. I see Energetics on the back, pushing the Aston Martin through. He just doesn't seem that quick in Sector 1. I think that's kind of
I don't know what happened. It was like his tyres just fell off within a corner, because he just drifted through the whole Sector 1.
And Energetics
is now
coming back.
He just becomes a bit of a roadblock at this stage, because he's got that penalty.
Yeah.
Although he is on the mediums. Listen, we've seen stranger things.
Well, that ruins the chance of second place, and it solidifies Kevin Cal's second. Joe Victor is 4.6 seconds ahead. He's just nailed that strategy completely and managed to move through quite well.
Should we jinx him? Kevin Cal,
I think we've already done at this point.
As you go onto one last lap, you're the only person without a penalty.
That's that's another type of jinx that we didn't think of. But we'll see. Energetics has completely dropped Falcon, by the way, and he is now on the back here. And this is doing good for his own chances as he's trying to move through on Kevin Cal with the outside, but Kevin Cal defending the middle of the track, which is done very well. Both Alpines swapping around, I think. With Steban moving up a place. He's got 8 seconds of penalties due to that collision on the safety car. He's moving down provisionally anyway.
Energetics being quite smart here, actually. He's kind of back. I think he knows there's almost no point in overtaking Kevin.
Oh, he's going to do it now.
Unless he'll do it now, yeah, but he backed off a few times.
Yeah, I think he just wants to keep his nose safe. And, Energetics wants to just try... if he can get a second on Major Falcon in the last sector, which seems unlikely. Bosnia, round the outside there. Beautiful move. So seeing the Alpine hit the back of James, that damage is not helping him whatsoever. The Alpines are trying to get through both 2x2, but I think we have to almost cut on to the race lead as we see Steban has moved through. Just looking at Joe Victor come around the final corner as he is going to weave around and don't do that too much, but he's going to win the Grand Prix here ahead of Kevin Isle, who was not jinxed. Energetics is going to drop down, but how far? It's going to be close. I think Major Falcon just about got that, but it wasn't more than a tenth. A lot of close things going on behind as we see people retiring from the session on the last straight. MCFC and Jamie Met, I think, just collided. Yeah, I've just gone with Ibo, and they are both in the wall. Ibo's going to grab a point from this. That's amazing.
Go on, Ibo, that's crazy.
What an absolute wild ending to that race.
What a clutch drive from Ibo.
He's going to be ahead of a lot of drivers in the championship. He'll be very happy with that one.
That's crazy. That's a me D1 drive, that. Just, if other people crash, anything can happen.
So they didn't crash though. Joe Victor taking the win here. First win of the season, first win in his first race. And he's going to be leading the championship, I think, on 25 points, unless he got the fast... No, he did get the fastest lap. So that's going to be 26 points for the Brazilian, ahead of Kevin Cal in P2. And Major Falcon just about grabbing the podium ahead of Energetics, less than a 10th difference. And then it's Bosnia in P5. He ended up, recovering quite well after, his first half of the race wasn't great. James with the damage just about lost a bit of momentum in 6th. And Goshi Kane 7th. Swip out of nowhere in 8th. Steban in 9th. Then Mr. Puro in P10 with a lot of penalties. Karakan ended up P11. Just kind of quietly driving about. And he's managed to pick up 2 points. Ibo in P12 with a last lap crash of MCFC and Jamie Mitt on the straight. Then it's Ben Scott who retired in the pits a couple laps before the end. Axel and Jaff, the Alfa Romeo, is not having a great day, even though Jaff stepping in for Ghost Recon here today. I cannot believe what I've just seen. That ending was pure D4, as we like to say. But overall, just still very good racing, I think.
Yeah, it's a very different experience to seeing the races at the top. So, it's a lot of overtakes, a lot of people wanting any position they can get, but it does make for fun viewing.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm just trying to grab my thoughts there. I think the two that did stand out, though, Joe Victor and Kevin Cal. I think Kevin Cal, if he used his ERS a bit smarter, there was more of a chance. It was going to be very difficult.
ERS every time.
Yeah.
No, I think Joe Victor just looked... He took a gamble on the softs. It was an unfair fight between him and Kelvin at the end, but he made it an unfair fight by ultimately picking the smartest choice. They both had the chance to pit as well. Remember, Kevin was actually in front at the time by 1,000 pretty much, so
yeah, exactly.
He chose that decision and it worked out for him.
Yeah, and I think that's just a very well made choice, and we'll see if he can do that as well in China next week. Let's we'll have to see who commentates with me that time. But I think that'll be all. A very entertaining opening race, anyway.
Overall, I've seen a lot worse D4 opening weeks. I think there's a few bangs here and there, but it was a lot better than previous years, which is people can only improve throughout the season as well. So it's very eye-opening for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'll be closing off the stream with that. Vicky Verstappen, he's been Ariel Felipe, and that's gonna be it for now. See you next week in China.